Yo, what up? The Wicked Wednesday has begun, an Orthodox Wicked Wednesday. As we just tweeted out the link, but people are kind of slow. People are kind of slow, so I'll have to tweet out, "We are live." So I apologize to our patrons here this evening as we're going into halftime here. I apologize to our patrons tonight. We have to deal with the public. You know, it's funny too, because when I started on Patreon, well, I've been doing Patreon a while, but normally on the weekends or whatever. But when we went nightly to Patreon, you know, we said, well, you know what? I'll you know, you gotta let people sample the product a little bit, right? It's like, well, you know, we'll post a free show every week or something, or, you know, we'll mix it up a bit. But to be honest, you know, you get used to like the private chat. It's like a private VIP club. So I guess it's kind of fitting that on a night that Zion Williamson blew up a fucking shoe and maybe his knee in the process, that for some reason Patreon has to be under maintenance. Yeah, scheduled maintenance, evidently. Yeah, great fucking timing. But hey, it is what it is. We'll throw it down. We got an early morning in the morning. We got an early morning here. Now, Babano's going to step up and in, so Babano will be part of the festivities tonight. And in fact, we should just get Babano in right now, get his halftime take, since he's the big-time professional handicapper, after all. I don't know if you know how handicapping works. It was the classic night when we upset Babano. Bano. Aaron Rovell is really motherfucking going to town with this thing. Rovell's going to town with this thing. He's got slow-mo. He's got every fucking angle. He's got it all. He's like, oh, this is horrible for Nike. Is it horrible for Nike? You got 2 million fucking followers, Rovell. You just keep saying their name over and over. You think they give a shit that the shoe just blew up? Whatever, man. All they can say after, listen, he's not even an endorser. They're getting him for fucking free. All right. That's the biggest crime of this shit. That's the biggest crime of this stuff that no one talks about. People talk about like, oh, college basketball, they should be paid and all this. Whatever, man. The schools, you can actually make an argument that whatever. You know, the school's hooking you up. We're getting you ready for the NBA. We're getting you ready for the NFL. Football's a little different because nobody gives a shit what kind of shoe people wear. It's a weird dynamic, this stuff. What football player is a big shoe deal? Nobody cares, right? But the thing is, like Nike's getting like fucking $100 million in free press fucking the next fucking 72 hours because of this. Whatever, man. Beckham fucking slipped wearing Adidas once in the World Cup or the Euro Cup, whatever. Adidas didn't go bankrupt after. But that's the biggest crime out of this. That like, so Zion Williamson's wearing Nike and shit. Why? Because fucking Duke forces him to. He can't wear Reebok if he wanted another shoe right now. And one thing though, I tell you what, this could cost Nike an endorsement deal after the fact. Because that's the whole deal. Like, but this is the dirty secret that people don't talk about. I know this for a fact. All right. I know for a fact. There was one kid. He was a big star for legal purposes, whatever. You know, we'll leave names out. But the kid was a big star, and he was in Vegas, and he basically wanted to go to UNLV. And UNLV were good. It was when I was living there. UNLV were pretty good. They weren't like, you know, the fucking, you know, the Showtime UNLV, but they were good. They were going to the tournament. They were good. They were doing a good job recruiting. And hell, it was the guy on the T-Wolves, fuck. So basically, you know, he was fucking screwed where, I hate to say it, but, the shoe companies hook these kids up, right, earlier. And it's a wink, wink deal. It goes through funnels through all this shit. And basically, the kid, you get screwed. Fuck. You have to fucking go to a fucking school. So basically, they'll give you the money. And it's not like, listen, we're going to give you the money and you have to go to this school. But you have to go to one of our schools. So the kid got locked into a fucking Adidas school, basically. And he went to UCLA. And his career would have been better off if he didn't. But like the shoe companies are the big pricks in college fucking sports. College basketball, the shoe companies actually run everything. Like we can bitch about the NCAA all we want. And there's a lot to bitch about. But the shoe fucking companies are getting free shit out of this. That's the whole thing. Like I saw a great documentary when I was on a plane last month about the shoe companies. It was on an HBO thing. And it was a documentary about the shoe and AAU basketball and all this stuff. And it's so fucking like crazy. Fuck, like these kids play in these tournaments. And so is this kid, he plays on Kentucky now. Nick Patrick, I think his name is. Plays on Kentucky, and he showed up like to this pickup game. He really have a fucking choice. He had to go because they were pressuring him to and shit. And he wasn't wearing Nikes. And the coach like starts freaking out. What are you, a fucking idiot? You got to be wearing Nikes here. And he's like, I don't own any Nikes. They're all matched. So it's like they force the kids to buy the shit early even, right? Yeah, the shoe company shit is fucking twisted. Yeah, the shoe companies are the ones that they're the ones that the shoe companies, they're the ones that run college basketball. College football, they don't. College football, like I said, no, who cares what cleat somebody's wearing? Nobody knows. You know what I mean? I was going to say, what cleat does Odell Beckham wear? Well, he wears Nike. You kind of know that because they pimp him in billboards and shit. He's like one of the rarities. Same with baseball. Like basketball has the shoe market sort of cornered. But listen, these shoes are put together in fucking Malaysia by fucking kids that are making like $2 a day and shit. They blow up. You know what I mean? Like, Michael Jordan used to fucking change shoes after every quarter and shit. I think he used to do it at the half. What's going on, Joey? We'll see you on Friday morning on the show. Thank you very much, Vegas Gun. Yeah, we had Bobby Valentine on today. That was good shit. But listen, Zion Williamson's a big fucking kid, man. He's a big kid. And I don't really blame Nike because the shoe blew up. You see, he planted pretty hard. Even if the shoe didn't fucking explode, he was hurt. Like, basically, it's sort of like Cain Velasquez the other night. Planted the knee. Except, I don't know, people fucking say that Cain actually got dropped before that knee stuff. Now, Ian Cameron, a.k.a. Babano, steps up and in. Now, hold on a second. I feel as if though Babano is worthy of some music. Plus, it's like big game tonight. Imagine paying fucking $3,000 or $8,000 or $10,000 for this game, and Zion Williamson got fucking hurt in the first 30 seconds. All right, let's send it to Hamilton, Ontario. As breaking news from the Sports Rage News Desk, Zion Williamson explodes a cheaply made Malaysian fucking made shoe. Nike executives are panicking. Darren Rovell is tweeting. And Ian Cameron joins us to give us a halftime pick. Or he better give us a fucking pick. Ian Cameron, what's up, Urbano?
Okay, so I'm going to be paying about that money you mentioned for tickets for this Duke UNC game. I'll be paying that amount, if not more, in tax money in a couple of months. So hell no is my answer to anyone asking me, will I pay for North Carolina Duke tickets? Hell no.
What's the most you've ever paid for a sporting event?
The most I've ever paid, $500 for I think it was a Leaf game at playoff time years ago.
Ooh, that's a lot of money for a fucking hockey game.
Yeah, it was. Everybody wanted to go. What am I going to say? I'm going to be the cheapskate that says no, can't go.
Like, wow, $500 for hockey games.
One time though, and I said to myself, I'm never paying for this again because it was, you got to pay for parking on top of that. Everyone wants to drink, go for a meal before the fucking game starts. You're paying more money with that, and then it adds up. Get the calculators out, get the pencils out. You better be putting this on the tab.
Yeah, you're more of a CFL guy than the NHL, like Leafs, Toronto, and Saturday nights and playoffs. Yeah. It's a lot of money. You said turns into $2,000. I paid $600 or $650 or something for an All-Star game before, but even now it was excessive. But it was Kobe Bryant's last All-Star game. It was the NBA All-Star game in Toronto. It was worth it. It was fun. I enjoyed it. I paid I think I paid $200 or $250 for UFC tickets once because I'd bring my father in Montreal to a George St. Pierre fight. But what would you pay for the Grey Cup in Hamilton? What would you go up to? Your favorite team in all sports is Hamilton Tiger Cats, right?
I'd be willing to break the bank a little more. If Hamilton is in the Grey, I'll be going regardless. Let me point that out and make it clear. I'll be at that game regardless. If Hamilton indeed gets the Grey Cup in 2020, which is apparently the what people think is going to happen, I'll be there regardless. But if the Ticats are in it, I'd pay. I'd approach $1,000 if I could, if I had to. I absolutely had to.
Luckily, you're not going to have to.
No, but Grey Cup tickets are even way more freaking expensive than regular season and even playoffs. I mean, you got to prepare yourself. You may have to pay a big-time tax for even going to the Grey Cup. People think, it's the Grey Cup. How much can you pay? You could pay a lot, believe me.
Didn't they lower the tickets? All right, anyways, let's just do a quick second half here. So what's the number here? I'm seeing second half. Duke minus 6.5, 86.5.
Yeah, I have UNC plus 9.5 pregame. So right away, that tells me I'm only looking at Duke in the second half as a middle opportunity. And in fact, I think I did grab a little Duke. It was minus 6.5. I took it for a little bit because I've got my UNC pregame position in mind. Look for a middle opportunity. I think it's pretty good.
I don't want to give it back, though. Fuck. I'm not so sure they come back. This is, This is one.
Hey, Gabe, remember a certain Louisville game recently with Duke? I know Zion's out.
Williamson didn't blow a fucking knee up earlier.
Yes, but they are at home in this game. They are at home, and I don't see Duke lying down. Bottom line,
what?
I don't see this team.
Pick, Babano. I don't know if fucking bookmaker has this though. Come on, you come on, have this. I've done this before. It's ballsy. No, they don't have money line for the second half, man. All right, let me see if they do in the live in-game section. North Carolina's plus 330 in the second half. Sometimes the team doesn't come back, man, and there's value. You get this big money shit for teams in the second half on the money line. They're already winning, but I can't get it in myself. Ugh. All right, let me just say, so you're saying Duke minus 6.5 here.
I have a hard time believing in a rivalry game, even with the shock of Zion Williamson going down, 33 seconds into the game. And it's a shock to the system. This is a young Duke team littered with talented freshmen of freshmen. They see Zion go down like a ton of bricks and not come back for the game. It's a shock, but they get the halftime to regroup. We've seen this team before in second halves come out of the gate strong when they've fallen behind and had a bad first half. They've had a couple bad first halves this year, Gabe, and we've seen them play a totally different brand of basketball second half. They played much better coming out of halftime. So I'm not saying Duke's done just yet. So I don't want to be in this situation where Duke makes this huge ass run here and it ties the game, takes the lead, and I'm sweating North Carolina all of a sudden. plus the points. So I think it's a good middle opportunity, but that's me.
Banos' middle opportunity. I see a sports doctor says looks like an MCL. Doubt ACL was injured. Hopefully he can return for an NCAA tournament. It's pretty severe news. It's pretty crazy. Just the other night we were talking about Duke and the futures and how it was plus 190. Suddenly it ain't going to be plus 190. This shit's going to go up right now. So anyone that, if you want to play Duke anyways moving forward, suddenly you're going to get a hell of a lot better in plus 190.
Yep.
So second half still hasn't started. Listen, I think if you're ballsy, guys, take North Carolina plus 330 in the second half. I can't get it in. Pretty frustrating. I don't know why they don't have the second half money line. For the record, I'm already on North Carolina, and I didn't bet it till late, so I got it at plus 10. And I'm on the under 166, which means the game's going to get to 167 because I always fucking lose these totals by 1 point when I bet the under.
This is a good North Carolina team. Let me point that out right now. They're very good. That's why I took them plus the points. I don't see them getting blown out here. This is a good team. They've played their best basketball in conference season. Cameron Johnson's been excellent for them. Kobe White's just blown onto the scene here as a youngster who went through some growing pains early on, and he's looking like now a big-time player. He's performing like it as of late for Carolina, and they're playing better defense too. And, it's never been a hallmark of these Roy Williams Tar Heel teams, but they are. They're playing better defensively, believe it or not, in ACC play than they did in non-conference. And usually for teams, it's the reversal, where early in the season they struggle on D, and then they get they're not quite as good in ACC play. But it's been different for North Carolina. But Luke May, of course, had a good game, rebounding the ball well, keeping extra possessions alive. So
8-0 and on the road in ACC play.
Yes. Oh, great point spread team.
Whatever. They haven't lost a game in ACC play on the road. They're 8-1 on the season straight up and against the spread on the road. Like you said, I'll be honest. North Carolina, I saw them play against Michigan earlier this year. Michigan fucked them up pretty good. And every time I saw them, they were okay. They weren't great type of deal. But they were better. Like, they've been flying under the radar. Like you said, they're a good team. Like, they're a Final Four caliber basketball team, this team, man. Like, they're 20-5 for a reason.
This is an incredible year for the NCAA tournament coming up because there's so many teams that can throw their hat in there and say, we've got a chance to make a deep run and be right in this thing. I really think it's there for the taking, and it's going to be there for the taking even more. Like you maybe put
half right away. North Carolina hits a shot. Plus 330. Yep. I'm telling you, money line.
Yeah, I mean, if you're looking at betting North Carolina second half, I would do that option. I would not do the points at all. I would just go for money line because chances are, that's not even going to come into play. The points, the spread. North Carolina, if they truly blow out Duke, they got a good chance to just go for that money line in the second half.
This is an opportunity for Barrett, actually, where it's almost show. It's like, hey, now Zion Williamson isn't here. If you're the second pick in the NBA draft or the potential first pick in the NBA draft, then you got to show it tonight, kid, right? You got to step up.
Yep.
We'll see what he does here in the second half. 3-point shooting, fucking brutal tonight for Bennett. North Carolina 1 for 14, Duke 3 for 21, but that's Duke's weakness here. And coming in tonight too, that's why I'm on the under tonight. Duke only shoot 31% from 3-point land.
It's not a good
for an elite team in today's day and age. That's low.
It is. They're not a great 3-point shooting team this year. Their 2-point field goal percentage is off the charts. They're a dunk team, a layup team, a drive to the rim team, especially with Barrett. They're not a 3-point shooting, jack up a perimeter shot team this year. That's not Duke. Duke's been that way in years past. They've had some good perimeter shooters. We know Kyrie was just terrific shooting the 3-ball years ago for them, but that's not this Duke team. They got to go inside, attack the paint to score.
Well, North Carolina, it's raining shots. Fuck. 48.
Bad defense by Duke. They're running good offense, so it's not all bad defense for Duke. They're running good offense here, North Carolina. They're backdoor cuts, good passing.
Everything they shoot's going in.
Yeah, it is.
10 of 14.
They've played great. Other than they had a bad game against, inexplicably, they had a terrible game at home against Louisville, and they lost at home to Virginia, But other than that, North Carolina's been right there as one of the top teams in this conference, and if not the country. They've been great.
Yeah, no, they really have been. I mean, like I said, this is a wide open year too, Bubano, for as far as the Final Four and the championship is concerned. You got Duke and they got all this NBA talent and shit, but a lot of times, teams with like you look at Alabama. I remember they lost a couple of years ago, and Saban said, man, the kids were all talking about the combine all week and shit. They weren't really, they were half in this game, really. Half of them didn't care, like they were getting ready to go to the pros. And same shit now. Like what happens with Zion Williamson? They supposedly these kids don't have agents now, but as if somebody isn't like close to this kid telling them, bro, you're already the number one pick in the NBA draft. You can't play anymore this year for these guys. You're getting for free. You're going to play for. You can't do it. Like if he's banged up, like does he even fucking play in the tournament? And I tell you, then suddenly it's really open. I ask you, all right, so did you think Duke was going to win? Who's your future team before this tonight even? It seemed like Duke, it was, the best team. And no other college team, Urbano, is really great. You know what I'm saying? But who would you say is the team besides Duke that you think can win the championship?
Well, when it comes to these teams that look unbeatable, and there's always at this part of the season, there's these teams that really start to turn things on and really look phenomenal. Duke's one of those teams. It's like, how are they going to beat a team like Duke when they're playing this way? And they've got one of the best freshman classes we've ever seen, and the way they're playing like it.
We got to welcome Bob from Vermont into the house here. Big night when Bob from Vermont shows up.
Oh yeah, he's one of the guys that I think calls in right to your Fantasy Sports Network.
Well, we didn't get to do an update tomorrow again. We didn't, we only had 2 minutes, but see, look, so listen, I'm a Michigan fan. Michigan are a Final Four caliber team. The defense that they play, it's tough. They can hit the outside shot. We know Beilein's a genius coach when it comes to what's up, DeMarco? We know they're a genius coach in the tournament, Beilein. But they're sort of challenged like Virginia, Michigan. They don't score 80 points a game and shit. You know what I mean? Like, they need to win every game 66, fucking 59 and stuff. And I could see Michigan going to the Final Four, but are they really going to win? Virginia, Kentucky suddenly looking pretty good. I wouldn't discount Kentucky, to be honest, but man, are you buying into Kentucky at all?
Yeah, Kentucky looks excellent because I think they're better defensively than Duke. Kentucky, especially the way they've been playing defense lately. They've been absolutely terrific. They just do a better job contesting shots. I think they can do a better job shutting off the perimeter game than Duke. Like you're seeing North Carolina hit some threes. You're seeing North Carolina really run anything they want so far. That's a product, I'm sure, of what North Carolina is doing, but some of it's too Duke's not playing great defensively. I think Kentucky's got them beat there at the defensive end of the basketball court. They're better there. Tyler Hero's been great for them. PJ Washington's been outstanding lately. Reed Travis was a big-time transfer get for Calipari getting him from Stanford. He's been a veteran presence for them. So there's a lot to like with Kentucky, but I warn everybody there, don't put your whole bankroll on these teams like Duke or Kentucky right now that are looking so great. All I have to remind you about is the UMBC upset over Virginia. It's matchups. If a team can get hot from the three-point line, that's what it's about. It's about who's in your bracket. You're not going to know any of that shit till Selection Sunday.
The odds aren't much better, but like we're already pretty late in the year. You know what I mean? Like the odds, like let's say Zion didn't get hurt tonight. Look, Duke was plus 190 last night. What would they have been once the tournament starts? Plus 175. You know what I mean? Like, what would you get for betting, and you could wait another 3 weeks to do it, right? Like, at this point of the year, you're pretty much getting the same numbers for the most part. They'll come down a little, but not much.
Yeah. Well, I can tell you I'm not looking to bet the Dukes of the world in futures right now because the value sucked out, and I'm sure most professional bettors are going to think the same way. You're not looking at teams like Duke at this time of year from a futures perspective. You're going to try to stake your case to a little bit of a longer shot that might be floating out there.
Yeah, but let's be real. Let's holy fuck, Jazz is right, folks. Cam actually stated, I need something bad to happen to Duke. And then he sort of was like, yeah, I know it's bad, but so I was like it was kind of ominous that he said it. It's true, fuck. I forgot that. Cam just cursed this fucking kid. That's great. Cam cursed the kid. But I was gonna say, the national champion, Babano, is always a one or it's always a 1 seed. It's always a 1 or a 2 seed. It has been like 20 of the last 22 years.
Yeah.
There might be a Cinderella team that makes it to the Final Four, but a Cinderella team never wins the title, besides UConn twice.
It's interesting right now to me because you're seeing these teams now. What's Zion's status going to be? Michigan State's banged up. They've already been without Langford for so long. The Nick Ward injury now is a huge one for Tom Izzo's Spartans team. All of a sudden, they're sort of vulnerable. They didn't look overly impressive tonight against Rutgers. I know they found a way to get the job done, but they had to stress a little bit to win that game tonight against Rutgers. So they've got question marks. Nevada's very talented offensively, but they can go to sleep at times defensively. Even in the Mountain West, even Colorado State in one game hangs 80 points on them. So I like Nevada and Musselman as a coach, but I can't really see them being true national championship contenders. I think when I look down on it, Kansas State, if they could ever keep Dean Wade healthy, and that's their big issue. Dean Wade, just another foot in that damn foot of his just won't get healthy.
Didn't you? Let me back up a second here. Didn't you? I could recall you criticizing Bruce Weber before. Was it you? I'm pretty sure. And now you're buying into K-State. And I told you, Bruce Weber's a hell of a coach. Like, it's a hard place to recruit, man. And somehow they win all the time, this team.
Well, we have to keep in mind too. They did do a pretty decent job in the tournament last year when they were very undermanned, and it was the same shit they were dealing with right now. Dean Wade, the same guy that unfortunately keeps having the health bug bite him and be unable to really be consistent game to game to be able, in terms of his availability to be able to play, and that's what he's dealing with now. But Kansas State can really, if they're fully healthy, if they get Dean Wade at or near 100%. That's a team that is bringing it at both ends of the basketball court right now. They are a great defensive team. They've shown it. I forgive them for losing to Iowa State at home on Saturday, the game where Wade got hurt, because, they sort of threw them for a loop and they didn't obviously rebound from that very well. But they came back with, Dean Wade was back the Monday night, who knows how long. He gutted through that game against West Virginia, blew out West Virginia on the road. They bounced back. They didn't let that loss linger. Yeah, Kansas State's playing good basketball, and I like that they're a well-rounded team. They rebound, they play defense, they're a good free throw shooting team. They're decent offensively. Obviously, a lot better with Dean Wade, but they're at least decent offensively. So that's the team. If I'm looking in that 80 to 100, 80 to 1, 90 to 1, 100 to 1, Kansas State right now is the one I'd be looking at. I think they're a team that could go Elite Eight, in my opinion, at least.
Kansas State, says Babano. All right, so right now the in-game here in this game, it is, for the record, Providence are throttling St. John's, as we expected.
Now, 2 weeks ago, my team in that range was Louisville, but I don't like the way they close games at all. And I'm worried that Duke loss at home has shook them a little bit. That was a mentally weak and beaten team tonight against Syracuse. They got absolutely drilled by the Orange, and it's unfortunate because I like Chris back.
Right?
Yep, they were off for a week. It was a great spot for Syracuse. They were off a week. Terrible loss they had against NC State, and they had a whole week to stew on that, and they brought their A game and blew out Louisville tonight.
I like Louisville tonight too.
I did too, and now I'm probably not going to bet Louisville for a while now.
I got some winners, Rocket. Like, I'm on North Carolina. That was my biggest play, but like, I'm on Providence, which was a sharp play. That was nice. Like, they're up by 20. But at the same point in time, I'm on fucking Tulsa tonight. Like, that wasn't such a smart play. So a little bit of a little bit of column A and a little bit of column B.
Wow, Patrick. I got to say, Patrick Kane just won the game for the Blackhawks in overtime, 5-4 against Detroit. That guy is, he's fucking hotter than a Canada Day, Independence Day firecracker right now. That guy is playing like an MVP this year for them.
He's on fire, this game.
He's been ridiculous. He scored earlier in the game, scored the OT winner just now. So Chicago gets it done over Detroit. They're in a playoff spot now. Chicago's second wild card now. They knocked Minnesota out of that spot with that win.
Babano with us, rightwager.com. Colorado Avalanche are up 2-0 on the Jets.
Yeah, I don't like that. I like Winnipeg there.
Yeah, me too. I was on Winnipeg, and I'm on Calgary. They're up 2-0. So it's one of those type of nights where it's like win a game, lose a game, win a game.
Yep.
What about the late night? I like Vegas to beat Boston.
This is another one where, from a spot perspective, it's a good one for Vegas. It's not a good one for Boston. It's the end of a great road trip. They beat Anaheim. They beat LA. They beat San Jose in a wild game the other night. 3-0. This is the last game in Vegas. Do they party? Do they let loose? Do they have some fun? And then just, play like a bunch of dopes tonight on the ice against Vegas? Possibly. It's been a great road trip. Whether they win or lose tonight, it's already been a successful road trip. I don't know if we get Boston's A game tonight. Vegas got shut out the other night by Colorado on the road. So Marc-Andre Fleury back in net. He's had a few days to rest. He wasn't playing well. They gave him 2 straight games off. Malcolm Subban started the last 2 games for the Golden Knights. So he's back tonight, fresh mind, rested. I think Vegas gets it done. It's a great spot for Vegas. Doesn't mean they win, but it's a great spot, and I don't know if it's a great spot for Boston. They've had a great trip. It's the last game in Vegas. Who knows? They may not have their heads in this one.
59, 39 right now, up to a 20-point lead right now. What did I say about North Carolina in the second half at plus 330? Motherfuckers, I couldn't get it in. Boy, I have money in Bookmaker right now. And I don't know. They didn't have the second half number up. With the live in game, they only had like the side in total. They didn't even have a money line at the time, but it's pretty frustrating because I'm telling you, a lot of times teams it seems like, they'll come back and they'll shave the spread. And most, I'd say only about half the time they do. And you get massive plus money in these spots. Like I said, like North Carolina's kicking the crap out of them. And you're getting plus 330 with them, right? And all they have to do is fucking win the second half by 1 point. Like it's, we've done this in the past and it's worked out. It's something we should do more of, but the situation only really works in like these bigger games type of thing. But it's like, look at this, like the Duke are turning it over. They're discombobulated, this team.
Yeah, they are. I mean,
I need North Carolina to slow it down, though. There's too many fucking points. They can't stop fucking scoring.
Luke May is just killing them right now. Absolutely destroying them inside. I mean, on the glass, putbacks, layups. I mean, just terrible interior defense by Duke. And that obviously speaks to Zion's absence directly with it.
Yeah, it's, Zion Williams, there's a 3-ball for Duke. Yeah, this game's going over. Yeah. I say it all the time. I can't win a fucking total, but I can't win it. I can't win an under.
Time for a Canadian.
There's always, but it's a good situation. It never is fun.
It's got to be takeover the game time for our Canadian pal here, RJ Barrett. He's got to have it in his hands almost every possession now. Down 16, you need offense. Give the ball to him.
Well, they need Cam Reddish to start hitting some threes. And Barrett score.
Yep.
Oh, whatever. These kids are fucking annoying at Duke anyways. Fuck.
Yeah.
Like, seriously.
You don't like the Cameron crazies. I only like the fact that they're Cameron. That's it. That's the only thing I like about them.
Cameron, fuck the Cameron crazies. Me and Cameron talked about it today. I'd rather go see this rivalry. See, look, they can't miss. Every shot North Carolina take, it goes in. Oh, God. Man, I wanted frustrating. You see what's the in-game total now? Well, it's 164.5. So it's sort of lingering around the total, but the thing is, Duke's not going to quit, right? They might not come back and cover, but they're not going to cover the second half, but they're not going to quit. Here's an open 3. And it goes
wide open. Yes. There you go. Trey Jones. You can't leave him, Reddish, or even Barrett for that matter, that wide open. I mean, just invite. Why don't you just give him 3 points there?
This game.
You need these dead zones. You need a scoring drought from somebody. North Carolina is still playing up and down, which is weird.
I know, exactly. Like
that's the way they play, though.
Slow it down. Duke would like to play fast now, obviously, right? Like North Carolina is like sort of letting Duke hang around a bit. It's cut to 15. There's a little big possession here. 3-ball. Then misses. Rebound Duke. You got a TV timeout coming up in a second. Here's going to be a basket coming up. No, blocked.
Oh, that's a ticky-tack foul.
Yeah, of course. They let me fucking Duke back in the game.
Yeah, every little thing. North Carolina's got to breathe on a Duke player to foul.
Yeah, that's
what you see now.
165.5 is the end game, which is pretty much what it was for the game.
Yep.
Hey, look at this. Tulsa's coming on a little run right now. 53-42. Tulsa on the money line. Late night game, Babana. We've got SDSU and Nevada. Talking about Nevada earlier. Eric Musselman has never won at SDSU before. It's the only arena that he's never won in the conference.
I think he does tonight, and I think he does in a big way. I think they destroy him.
You're going to lay 8 points on the road. You like Nevada? I'm on the Aztecs, so what's your case for Nevada here tonight?
Well, San Diego State, first of all, is playing better. They are. They're playing better the last few games, although I still say they haven't really played anybody of quality during this better run that they've had in the Mountain West play, especially at home. I mean, they've been very good at Viejas Arena. It's been a bugaboo. This team, San Diego State's been a bugaboo for Nevada. Remember, San Diego State knocked Nevada out of the.
I'm not even sure. I'm not even sure what a bugaboo is, but man, you dropped some real words. But
that means it's been a problem. They've been a nightmare. They've been a challenge for Nevada. Yeah, it's been a thorn in their side. Thorn in their side. What about thorn in their side? Do you understand that one?
Yeah, before you dopey again, like they're gonna play like dopes. Yeah, the bugaboos. What is this? Like the fucking 40s? Like when do you watch? Like you watch Leave It to Beaver all the time or something, huh?
I do watch classic TV. I watch, Sanford and Son and All in the Family, and I watch a lot of those old shows. MASH, WKRP, Cincinnati, Morgan Mindy, Happy Days. Lots of good shows back in that era. But yeah, I mean, here San Diego State has been a thorn in Nevada's side, knocked Nevada out of the Mountain West Conference Championship last year. It's the first meeting this year. They haven't won at Viejas Arena. I think they're going to try to prove a point tonight. When I want to bet on Nevada, because you're always got to lay a premium with Nevada, you want to do it in a night where I think they're focused and they got a chip on their shoulder and they want to prove a point and make a statement. I think tonight's one of those nights. I really do. They've crushed teams on the road. You look at them on the road, they've beaten up every opponent, I think, each of their last 5 or 6 opponents by double digits. I mean, they just wiped the floor with everybody as of late. They've been red hot, Nevada. For a little bit of an improvement that San Diego State's made, Nevada's been red hot. They've been killing teams lately. It's not asking too much, I think, for Nevada to win by 10. I don't expect like an ugly, like 20, 30-point blowout, but get to a 10-point win, I could see it. I think they have a point to prove against San Diego State.
What about the total, 146?
Nevada scores points in bunches. And San Diego State under Dutcher has played a little quicker tempo-wise.
Low this number, doesn't it?
It does. I would not be
9.5 or something like that.
There are just some teams that don't bet under the total. Nevada's one of them because they're liable to score 80 points or 85 in every game. That's how good they are offensively with the Martin twins, Caleb and Cody Martin, with Jordan Caroline, and that starting 5. Every one of those guys can shoot. Every one of those guys can score from anywhere on the basketball court, and they're good to score 80 in most games. Right? And it's just a question of can you get 65 or 70 out of San Diego State, which I think at home you might be able to.
All right, I see Patreon's working now, so everyone's got to go. I'm going to reboot now. Okay, at this point, we can't. At this point, whatever it is.
Yeah, public show's over. Pay up, you cheapskates. If you want to keep watching.
Shut it down. I just saw Patreon popped up. I'm like, all right, we really should. It's like we really should. It's like, all right, that free part's over. Done. Where's your fucking sample? 663.48. There's the free sample.
There you go. Yeah, free sample's over. You got your little taste of Sports Rage Patreon. So now you want to keep enjoying the experience. It's $20 a month. It's not that much.
66 cents a show. All right. So the other 2 games tonight, Utah State laying a lot of points tonight. 14.5 points to favorites against New Mexico. Utah is at Washington. Washington are like 12-0 at home this year. The best Pac-12 team, Washington Huskies. Both pretty big favorites here tonight.
Here's the thing with Washington, though. They didn't cover the number at home over the weekend against Washington State, and Washington State's terrible. and they only won that game by 3. As good as Washington is, they're the best team in this conference. They've done a great job. Chris Thibault, it's a great team. Norvell, Mike Hopkins, the coach, came over from Syracuse. Great team, but the point spread's caught up to them. It's a premium to bet Washington in this conference right now. That's the issue, I think, with taking them tonight in that game. And Utah, it's been a tough season for Kryskowiak, but Utah knows that if they have any semblance of building any kind of resume, and this is not going to be enough beating Washington for them, not even close, but a road win at Washington is going to go a long way. I don't expect Utah to lay down. I think with them getting 8.5 in that game, that might be something I look at for a small play. Like, I like Washington a lot. I've bet on Washington a lot, but I'm worried the point spreads. When you're only beating Washington State by 3 at home and not covering, that tells you, the value from a point spread standpoint with you as a basketball team is gone right now. So I think Utah might have a chance to hang around.
Utah Utes getting 8 points here tonight against the Washington Huskies.
Especially this late in the season. I find these teams that are rolling along, they have these little speed bumps at this time of year. It's a long season. You don't play great forever. Starting to see Washington, not play as great. I mean, you only beat Washington State at home barely. That tells you right now that maybe this team's regressing performance-wise just a little bit.
NBA basketball will be back tomorrow night. Houston Rockets at the LA Lakers. Rockets -2.5. Golden State Warriors lay 11.5 to Sacramento. Cleveland Cavaliers, Phoenix Suns, Miami Heat, Philadelphia 76ers. That's an interesting game. Sixers -6.5 against the visiting Heat. But Babano, the Alliance lines are out today. They seem to come out.
I haven't even looked. Yeah, I haven't even checked yet. They are good stuff.
Yeah, they're coming out every Wednesday. We're 8-4, 7-4 posted. I played an extra teaser, but we'll call it 7-4 on the year after 2 weeks here. Posted picks, all documented in the Alliance. And I'm not saying that as for documented whatever, but I want to keep track and see how we do in this league, and I think we can do pretty damn well, significantly well. I was a little frustrated actually last week. Like, thought we could have done a little better, but honestly, we got lucky that the San Diego Fleet covered. They kicked a field goal, like 30 seconds left. Babano, the fact that they have to go for 2 really changes everything, man. Like, the number
of course it does.
Really, it's a weird dynamic. And if you get up by a couple of scores, the other team's kind of fucked. Like, the other week, like, I had +9 with a team. They scored 2 touchdowns. It was like, and they converted. It's like, man, the other team's got to score 3 touchdowns and convert every time and cover now, right? Like, you can, if you get up and you get a little bit of a lead, you're in a good spot here. So I'm liking this league for betting purposes, but I'm looking at the numbers here. It's very tricky this week, Babano.
The only common thing, point spread wise, between the NFL and the Alliance in terms of key numbers is 3 and 6. That's it, because those are field goal numbers, 3 and 6. And the NFL, you go 3, 6, 7, 10, 13, 14, 17, 21 is your key numbers. In the AAF, it's after 3 and 6, key numbers are totally different. You're looking at 8 is a key number, 11 is a key number, like, and any multiple of 8, 16, 24, 32, 40. Those are the biggest key numbers in American Alliance of American Football, because every team's got to go for 2, and you either got 6 or 8 points off a touchdown now. So that changes everything now in terms of what you're looking at with that. And last week, I think we're starting to find out who's the best of the best in this league. I know it's only 2 games for everybody, but you got to put Orlando up there. I've been extremely impressed with Steve Spurrier's group. Very impressed. They came back, unfortunately, to get me with beating San Antonio last weekend and covering.
That was the over of the week, that game.
Yeah, and there's another team I don't want to bet under the total. They've got the best offense. Them in Arizona, although Arizona's offense made some mistakes last week, I still think they're a very good offense. I think they bounce back. Why are they playing Salt Lake again? Arizona played Salt Lake in week 1. They're playing each other again in week 3. I don't understand that, but nevertheless.
What do you want them to do?
I guess someone's got to play each other that quickly again. Yeah, when you've got 8 teams. I should know. I've been watching the CFL all these years.
Exactly. What do you want to do?
Yeah, not much, but not much you can do. But yeah,
they alternate every week where they have a division game and then a non-division game, a division game, a non-division game.
Yeah, that looks to be the pattern. I noticed that because you've got all of a sudden back to the out of division here with this week. San Antonio getting 2.5 against San Diego. They beat San Diego that first week of the season, so revenge situation potentially for San Diego. But San Diego, I mean, they got the cover last week, but boy, they were looked sloppy for most of that game. Mike Mart's offense not taking hold right away for the Fleet. I mean, early in the
He
week
doesn't
when
have a quarterback.
no, he doesn't. That's the thing. You got you got to have quarterback play, and it's been awful for them. Very fortunate. Now Orlando's playing Memphis. Memphis again, another hideous offensive performance. I mean, I don't know what else you can say with this Memphis group at this point, but it's awful. It's a clash of styles. Orlando's so much better.
Points last week. They got shut out the week before. It was a big improvement, actually.
It was an improvement. It wasn't fantastic, but yeah, when you look at it that way, they were better. But
they nearly won the game outright as 16.5-point underdogs.
Yeah, their defense was good. Their defense is actually pretty
Arizona,
good.
I laid the points with Arizona. It was one of my losses. The weather was bad. It was it was rainy. It was kind of cold and shit. I never really thought about it, that the weather would be bad, to be honest. Like, all these games, the weather's never really been a factor. It's Alabama, fucker. It was Memphis, Tennessee, excuse me. But I never really thought about it. Like, it pissed me off. Like, sitting here, the game starts, and I'm like, fuck, man. It never occurred to me, fuck, like the weather. And
yep.
And there it was. It was fucking rainy and drizzly and dreary and shit. And these guys are from Arizona. You know what I mean? Like,
they didn't respond to it.
Regional players in this league from the area and shit, from the colleges. So, these guys played in the NFL, a lot of them and stuff. So I'm not saying that none of them are dealing with it, but it was the first time they dealt with it. You know what I mean? You're in Arizona. You kicked ass last week in the desert. Suddenly you're in fucking Memphis, fucking Tennessee on a Saturday night, and it's all fucking rainy and dreary and shit. They had a hard time. And we had their GM on this week, actually, Phil Savage. And he talked about it. Like, Singletary knows how to coordinate. Fuck. The guy's a legendary defensive guy. And he basically stated that they confused the fuck out of him. And, in the second half, they figured it out a bit. But I think Memphis could be in trouble here. Like you said, Orlando's offense is pretty explosive. Spurrier's into this shit. He ain't mailing.
Garrett Gilbert always had a great arm. He was just sometimes erratic with it. They didn't let him throw it deep as much in Texas when he played there years ago under Mac Brown. I mean, it's just they didn't let him air it out at times, which always was confusing to me why they didn't let him do that. He's got a great arm, and they're letting him show it here in this league. Spurrier's letting him throw deep balls 30, 40, 50 yards down the field, and it's working out because he's got chemistry, he's got rhythm, he's accurate with his deep ball. And you're seeing Orlando in terms of pushing the ball downfield and big play explosive offense. I thought Arizona after week 1 was leading the league in that department. I think Orlando's probably leading the league in that department now. Memphis is going to have to score points. I don't care what Singletary does in this game defensively, schematically. This team is going to have to score points. They're not shutting down this Orlando team. I don't think so. The question is, can you trust a Memphis game to go over the total? Is the question, because 45 looks hell of a lot low total for Orlando's offense. I'm going to do what I did in week 1. I took Salt Lake, Arizona over. The only thing I can tell you, Gabe, that I'll be on for sure right now is the over in Arizona, Salt Lake. It went over the total with ease in week 1 when they played. I think Arizona's offense will be better this week against Salt Lake. They know what to expect. I think Salt Lake's offense will do some damage against Arizona's defense.
They put up 58. I told people right away when fucking Zion got hurt that fucking the other shoe companies were going to come out. Here it is. Puma's the first one.
Yeah.
Puma says,
attack ads.
Pumas. But
they're attack tweets, I should say. Huh?
Well, it's marketing. They're trying to get free marketing out of this. But so Puma tweets, Puma hoops wouldn't have happened in the Pumas. It's like, I don't even know who wears fucking Pumas. Actually, Puma's not a bad shoe. They did sign 1 or 2 guys, but fucking that's bad karma, man. Now, like if I wore Pumas, I'd be like, holy fuck. Like, don't fucking talk about his injury. Like, it really is bad voodoo. It's sort of like betting on sports. Like, you bet on football. I never cheer for like the other quarterback to get hurt. I'm not like, if we kill Tom Brady, we'll be good. Because, your guy can get hurt too, right? Like, you can't start cheering for people to get hurt and stuff. And I'm not saying Puma's cheering but it's kind of classless. Like, they should have been more creative with coming out besides just, oh, this wouldn't have happened in Pumas.
Yeah, I mean, if you're the Nike PR guy, well, you've just now basically been assured of a long night and a rough night ahead after this has happened. Try to douse the flames and put out the fire that this is going to cause now. Good luck with that.
Yeah, it'll start. Like I said, they need to be creative with it. You can't just come out and now it just looks like Puma's laughing at a kid's injury. Like there'll be backlash. There'll be backlash against Puma for this. Like
Yes.
it's not. That wasn't good. That wasn't good marketing by Puma here on this. They just came across just looking tacky and. Like I said, it's like, oh, way to try to capital in on a fucking 19-year-old kid who plays for free getting hurt, guys, to sell your fucking shoe. But like I said, shoe companies are fucking evil, man. This is what they do.
I don't sympathize for them. I don't sympathize for them one bit. They roll their asses over and over into endorsement deals and big money deals with big time athletes and just roll around and all the money they make off it. I believe me, no sympathy.
Oh yeah, no, like I said, people will get on this crazy shit. Like I don't know if you guys saw the sailor when World War II ended in Times Square in New York. They had the soldiers, the parade, and it's the famous picture. It was on the cover of Time magazine, in which the sailor is kissing the nurse. And so he died. All right. I guess she had already passed away as well. So he's dead. It's like one of the most iconic pictures in American history. And, World War is over, and it shows like sailor kissing the nurse. And he didn't know the nurse, so it turns out. He didn't know the nurse. There was a parade going on for the troops when they were back. Everyone was happy the war was over and shit. And he said he was fucking drunk. He said, I was drunk and I was happy the war was over. And he said, I stumbled out of a bar in Times Square and I just saw the nurse there. And he figured out what the hell, the war's over. And he went up and he kissed her. Right? So it's an iconic picture. And he didn't know the lady. So, of course, now it comes out, right? And of course, everyone's like, oh, the Me Too movement. Fucking, you're like, he shouldn't have kissed her. He didn't know her. And
For Christ's sake, people, pipe down. Gosh.
The most iconic picture in American history. It's on the cover of Time. The war was over. And I guess the guy he was at war, but he was stationed. He came back and he was due to go back. So he even admitted, he goes, fuck, I was happy I didn't have to go back. Right? Like, so he goes, I was celebrating. I didn't have to go back. The war was over. I was drunk and I saw her there and I figured out what the fuck. And he didn't hit on her or anything after. That's the whole thing. They didn't go out. They didn't talk after. They never even spoke. He went up to this chick, kissed her. By chance, fucking Time, bing, got the picture. And it became sort of the symbol of the war ending. But anyway, so now people are bitching about like, oh, you know what I mean? He never should have did that. And somebody actually vandalized the fucking statue. There's like a statue of the two of them, the kiss. And somebody spray painted me Too on her fucking leg and shit. I'm like, oh my God, now you're Me Tooing people that are dead. And so it'll be the same type of shame. Everything's gotcha politics in this world. So now Puma will have to issue, I guarantee you're going to see, Puma's going to issue an apology in the morning. We're sorry. We didn't mean, we wish Zion the best. And it's like, you just shut up in times like this. You know what I mean?
It's asinine. I mean, it's a moment of delirium, a moment of joy in a man's life, in a very trying, very emotional time, just physically demanding time, mentally draining time of wartime, just to hear that the war is over. Just happy, just happens to kiss. So now the thing is, did he go after the woman after? Did he corner her? No. Did he go look for another kiss? Or did he even go look for a date with the woman after he did it? No. Yet people now are going to hear about this and still think that there's some kind of issue that he's.
No one's going to think about there's an issue besides psychopaths.
Yes. No, realistic human beings
Yeah,
that
no,
with a sense of
sort of modern,
dignity
I guess,
and
sort of,
some brain cells upstairs will think otherwise. Exactly. Yeah.
not even millennial. I don't know. What's like, who's younger than millennials? I think millennials get picked on too much, actually. What's like what's the new generation, not millennial?
Oh,
I don't even know what fucking generation I'm in. Generation rage.
yeah. That's right, and that's a
Generation
generation
rage.
all of your own. Yeah,
I'm not
created
generation
by
X.
you. Yes.
And
No, I'm too young for that era.
no, you probably are Generation X, actually.
I might. I'm mid '80s born, but I thought that was more late '70s, early '80s. That era. Millennials. See, I've been called a millennial by a lot of people, but I keep telling them I'm not no millennial.
Nah,
Millennials to me are the people that are born late '90s and
I
onward.
think
Those are the
you
millennials.
just passed millennial, but I don't know. Is Babano always just like a poll? Is Babano a millennial?
That's the
I don't
question.
have you as a millennial.
No.
No. Like, you're drinking, Labatt Blue and shit. Like, you're going to CFL games. Like,
Yeah, that's not a millennial thing to do. Yeah.
yeah. You're not, and no offense, you're not a hipster either.
No. I agree with that, and yet I'm accused of being a hipster for liking craft beer, which I don't get once whatsoever. But thank you for saying that, because I agree. I'm no hipster.
Thank you for what? Saying you're not a millennial?
No, not a hipster.
Oh, a hipster?
Yes.
Well, yeah. I don't know. It's not bad, too bad being yeah. I appreciate you appreciating it. I was gonna say I sort of meant it too. It's like, some millennials are kind of cool and shit. I was gonna say you're not the coolest. Like you're not oozing cool like the Fonz. You know what I mean?
No. That I'm pretty sure of. Yes, you're right.
You go to these soup festivals though.
That's because I like the soups there. That's why. It's got nothing to do with being a certain type of personality, hipster or not hipster.
Like you, how old are you, Babano? What are you? You 33? How old are you?
You nailed it.
Wow, I'm getting creepy today with guessing shit for people.
That's unbelievable.
I guessed who's fucking somebody got a sweater from today on TV. I'm getting good at this stuff. Yeah. So 33. You're actually like, I would say you have more in common. Like you talk sort of like a fucking, I don't know, like a 71-year-old or something.
Some of the yes.
I'm saying this honestly. Like you have this sort of diatribe of kind of like a grandfather, of a grandmother. Like, do you hang out with your grandmother a lot? Like these words, like
they passed away a long time ago.
People, like I said, they don't use these words.
Yeah, I heard them as a kid. Some of them, and they basically stick with you because they're so not outlandish, but they're just not common. Like the common person is not going to use those words on an everyday basis or in every conversation.
Like even that word outlandish.
Yeah. There you go. Cockamamie, I know, is one I used in the past. Yeah.
Cockamamie. What the fuck is that? What do you like? where
Crazy.
did you get that from?
Some nutso thing. Insane
shit. What kind of cockamamie idea is that? Like you're busting out like Black and White, Three Stooges, and where is it? Like where are you getting this shit from? Like,
that's probably from watching old shows too.
What has influenced you to talk like this?
Like I said, there's probably old shows that I've watched and I've heard all of these slogans before. I've watched a lot of 60s and 70s sitcoms in the past. Like there's a lot of them I watch and I enjoy, and I still watch them to this day. So that's had an influence. I hear it often on those shows, not so much to like the newer sitcoms, but the older ones, yeah. And I probably picked up some stuff and incorporated it into my day-to-day,
At least you're not like a white guy that talks like he thinks he's black. You know what I mean?
No, what's up? Yeah.
Your language is very interesting,
yeah.
But the thing is, though, you are like an old person in a lot of ways. Like you're very reserved. You like your beers. You're living there alone with your dog. You know what I mean? You go to CFL football games. Like I could picture you you and your buddies, like in your 60s type shit, sitting at the tavern, like having a beer.
We already do that shit.
So
So
bitching about, dude, it sucks. I tell you, Charles. Like, and then, but y'all get home fucking like by 11 type shit. Like, you're not pushing it too hard.
well, that's the only thing that's different. We do that already. The beer taverns and go out and watch sports at a bar thing. We already do that, but we're not calling it a night at 11 p.m. just yet. We're not that old yet. We're still going till 1, 2 in the morning. We watch every UFC event right till the end. We watch every hockey game or
if you get it
whatever right till the end.
Like, are you calling it necking?
Yeah, there you go, old school. Yeah, I should bring that out. Yeah, let's do a little necking.
Yeah. You know what? I just realized it. You speak like Richie fucking Cunningham. You're like Richie Cunningham.
Wow, I don't think I've ever been compared to Richie Cunningham before.
Yeah, did you watch Happy Days at all?
Oh, of course.
Richie had it going on.
Richie was a cool character on that show. He was decent.
He wasn't that cool, but
No, he's all right. Wasn't a total, nerd or friggin', alfalfa or anything like that.
The fawn, like, I think Babano thinks I'm talking about the fawns. Fuck. Babano's like, yeah, you're right. I'm all like the fawns. Larry Appleton. Yeah. So what generation am I, Larry? Larry and Wawa's a smart guy. He'll know.
Perfect Strangers. Oh yeah, that was a show that was on in the 80s too. That Family Matters doesn't happen. Urkel is not, on television in the 90s without Perfect Strangers, because the mother of Family Matters character started on that show.
Oh, see, Bruce John saying Puma's deleted the tweet. What did I just say a minute ago?
That didn't take long.
Q apology.
Yeah, damage control. We stepped over out of bounds.
Minutes. I called this.
Yep, we stepped over a line.
And they're gonna say, we wish Zion well. We didn't mean any harm by it. Boom. You're gonna see they're gonna be popping this shit up. Yeah, but people are like comparing it like to Fred Savage, Wonder Years. You don't appreciate that comparison?
I don't get bothered by comparisons anymore. Whatever.
What do you mean bother? I'm not trying to bother you. We're trying to nail it.
No, that's fine. No, that one's not out. That one's not crazy. That one's not crazy. I've been compared to less accurate characters and fictional people on television.
Well, we're not. No one's insulting you by saying the Wonder Years. I mean,
no, it's a cool show. It was very popular.
What do you expect us to say? Fucking, you remind us like of Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Certainly don't have the physical.
Sylvester Stallone.
Yeah, they certainly don't have the physique of either.
Like me, I look like the dude. I look like the dude in that drummer movie and in the State Farm commercials. J.R. Rowling, whatever his name is.
There we go. Look at this beautiful arm here. Look at that.
Or Moby. Someone called me Moby once. That was all right.
Yep. That's not bad. Moby. Yeah, Moby had some good hits
Moby
there.
Like, I don't mind. What are you doing, Babano? What's going on? What are you flexing muscles for now?
Yeah, that was my pathetic attempt to do that.
What was that about?
Well, I was just going to say, we're prove 100%. We're not
Schwarzenegger.
We're not Schwarzenegger or Stallone. No, not in the physical specimen department.
Like, holy fuck! I look up. I'm like, why is Babano flexing?
What is that?
Arm in the camera. That's some good stuff for her.
That is. Isn't that good? Yeah, I bust out the old bag of tricks every now and then. Yeah, you never know what you're going to get when I'm on. Never ever going to know.
No. Well, of course, I get Mr. Clean.
Oh yeah. What is this?
Clean.
I don't buy into this nonsense that GSP is retiring tomorrow, especially now that Habib Nurmagomedov is telling him, "Hey, let's do the fight. Let's go. You can retire after." How many times have we heard about GSP's retiring before we stop believing it?
Oh, I believe it. I think he's done now.
Think it is done?
Yeah, I think he's done now. He's He wanted a couple of select super fights. It's not happening. Whatever, man. Khabib's full of shit. Fuck. He could have set this fight up. He waited till George St. Pierre retired. Oh no, don't do this. Whatever, dude. You had months to fucking set something up. You're running around acting like
true. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Why are we hearing about it now? Yeah.
I think he's done. Well, I don't know. Maybe he comes back in 3 years or something again. You never know. You can never say someone's done, but I don't think he has his conference tomorrow and then he pops up in like 2 months. You know what I mean?
No. Well, maybe this is it. I've seen this before with GSP. We think it's over, and just when you think I'm out, they pull me back in the old line. Yeah, but maybe this is
Generation X.
I got to hand it off to Brian Barberina, Mr. Brian Barberina. What a tough SOB he was the other night. That fight with him and Luque. I mean, oh my gosh, that fight. You talk about just two guys swinging and two guys doing just two tough sons of bitches, both of them, especially Barberina. The punishment he was taking, he got to a decision. Amazing.
What year is Generation Z? Between 1995 and 2015. They're the big pussies. like I said, millennials are bad, but millennials are getting a kind of a bad break. I think millennials are sort of up to 30. All right. What is Generation Z? All right. What year are the millennials? Okay. You're a millennial, Babano.
Yeah, I use the early 80s, yes, and to the mid 90s.
Millennial is 22 to 37 years old, 1981 to 1996. Right. You're a fucking millennial.
I'm a millennial, but Generation Z is worse. Let's be honest. You got to admit that. Generation Z is the worst era. That's
of course, you're picking on you're bullying these kids.
Yeah, Generation Z is terrible. You know, they've never grown up without a little friggin' device in their
Generation X.
They don't even have to learn cursive handwriting. I did. Do these people even get cursive handwriting in school anymore? No. Why is that? Because people type all the time and text all the time.
He begins.
Yeah.
Yes, even Generation X sounds cooler. Now, the coolest generation are the silent generation. 1928 to 1945. Those people didn't fuck around. Baby boomers, they're dickheads. They're the ones that fucking ruined our world and put us in the situation we're in. Generation X were the bitter ones that realized we're getting fucked. And millennials, you guys are the ones that complain about everything.
You realize most of our parents are baby boomers, but hey, that's okay. They all suck.
I know. I'm aware. I'm aware about that. Thank you.
But they all suck. To hell with them. Yeah.
Yeah. My parents weren't typical baby boomers, but yeah. We got to give. You got to call it out for what it is. Keep talking about it. I just need to go to the bathroom for a second here.
Yeah. Apparently yeah, exactly. People caught that exactly. Mr. Barberina, Mr. Brian Barberina. You're right. That's Del the Funky Homo Sapien from the 90s. Mr. Doubleina, one of my favorite tracks. It's on my greatest of all time collection. Great song.
Barberina, fucking Welcome Back, Carter.
Yep.
In the 70s, the battle. Now all the way back to the 90s. See, you really are a millennial. You're like, oh, in the old days, in the 90s.
It is. It feels like the old days to me now when I think about it.
Millennial. You just dropped it. Oh, Barberina, that's from the 90s.
Early 90s. It was like 90 or 91 that song came out. Like right at the start of that decade, we heard that song.
You're kind of close, aren't you, to find out you're a millennial?
Yeah, I'm a little rattled by that. You're right about
facts, Babano.
It's just the facts doesn't mean that.
I gave you credit for not being a millennial, but the age group doesn't lie.
I thought I was Gen X, but no, apparently not. It was a little too late to the party with that one. Early 80s, of course, and 85 is just after early 80s. See, 1 year too late. Why couldn't I be 35 years old or 36, not 30, not 33? Well. Not much you can do. That's the team, by the way. Left My Wallet in El Segundo was yes. Fantastic. That's great era of hip hop. Great era of hip hop. I am so lucky and fortunate to have seen Wu-Tang last year in Kitchener. That concert will forever stay with me, honestly, for the rest of my life. That was a group that I listened to their albums constantly. Grade 6, grade 7, grade 8, the 36 Chambers, Wu-Tang Forever. Those early albums there for Wu-Tang were just sitting at the old friend's place, in the downstairs part of the house, the entertainment room, just blaring Wu-Tang. And those first 2 CDs, especially that they came out, it was great. Yeah, Low End Theory is my favorite Tribe Called Quest album, no question. Low End Theory for sure. Midnight Marauders, great too. There's no bad ones. You're splitting hairs at the end of the day when it comes to picking which album's the best and all that. But Low End Theory was absolutely terrific. And that whole group, and I give a Tribe Called Quest a lot of credit because they had the guts to come out with new music and a new album last year, and I thought it was really good. Now, some people are going to say, hey, it's not like their old stuff, and you expect people to say that because, hey, when you're doing rap and hip-hop lyrics in a different era, and let's be honest, when you're doing hip-hop lyrics in 2017, which is, I believe, when they did that new album, Tribe Called Quest, it's a lot different from doing an album in the early to mid-90s. It just is. It's a totally different era. You get different responses. You get different people, different feedback from people. You have different, things that you can incorporate into your lyrics from a public standpoint, political standpoint, whatever message you want to portray in those songs can be different now than it was 20 years ago. And that's either going to rub people the wrong way or people are going to like it. But no, to me, I thought they did a great job with that one album. There was a lot of it was politically motivated too. And if you listen to the lyrics, you'll know that. But I thought they did a great job with it. But yeah, and Low End Theory to me was that favorite album of theirs. Check the Rhyme, Jazz, We Got the Jazz. It's always one of them. Whenever I bet Utah, you've heard me on the show here with Gabe before, and I've got a wager on the Utah Jazz. I'll say, we got the Jazz, we got the Jazz, we got the Jazz. Some reference in Tribe Called Quest. So, yeah, I mean that album, top to bottom, is great. They're all good. Favorite Wu offshoot album, which would be one of the solo albums from Ghostface Killah, Supreme Clientele. Love that album. Love it. I thought that one's one of my favorites for sure. Obviously built for Cuban links. Raekwon was outstanding. That was in the late 90s. Supreme Clientele, because I remember burning a CD. Remember CD burners? Do you remember those things? No need for them now, or we barely use them now or have a need to use them now, but we did have them in the year 2000 when Supreme Clientele came out, and it was a common thing for me to burn CDs. I didn't pay for shit. I didn't go to Sam the Record Man, or I didn't go to any CD place to buy the CDs. I'd buy the blank CDs and burn them onto CDs, and then play them in high school. And that's what I did with a lot of those albums. And I know one of them was Supreme Clientele, and it was a great one. Cher Shayla Ghost. I mean, that was one of the singles from that album. It's a great, catchy song. The M&U God with the Tommy Mottola lives on the road. He lost his lady 2 months ago. I mean, that's a really good album, top to bottom. Apollo Kids, him and Raekwon is the standout song on that album to me. Apollo Kids, great song from I think a great album. Now I know, again, there's gonna be people that say there's better than Supreme Clientele. Napster, exactly. Napster, Kazaa. Remember Kazaa? Kazaa. Kazaa. Ian, I like you, but you're one odd cat. Yes. No argument here. But you got to be different. You can't be, in line with the 90% of the population. You got to have some quirks about you sometimes, and be a little bit different, right? All right. By the way, and I'm just seeing the scorer for this team is reminding me now that they're a team that I actually was eyeing in terms of a team that's mid to deep darker horse, if that makes any sense. A larger, darker horse to win the NCAA tournament, Marquette Golden Eagles. That's a team that I think could have a little run in them. Their biggest problem last year was they didn't play good enough defensively, but they've really improved big time in terms of their play at that end of the court this season. And they're a much better defensive team. And that's really the thing that held them back last year, Marquette. They could score, very fluid offensively, run great, offense, could shoot the ball, have a tremendous player in Marcus Howard last year as well. He was on the team, take over a game, but they just couldn't get stops, couldn't play consistent enough at the defensive end. They're doing that now. They're playing better defensively. They're a very good team. They have a win against Villanova on their resume already, although say a couple other teams now have that on their resume too, St. John's and Georgetown. So maybe Villanova's not quite the same team. But to me, the bottom line is I think Marquette's got the potential to be a pretty dangerous team in that tournament. So that's definitely a team I would watch out for. And again, their odds from a future standpoint right now are pretty good still in terms of value. And you're not necessarily looking to nail the champion with these longer shot futures. You want them to get, to a
total's really coming down to the wire.
To an Elite Eight or Final Four, and then you have some hedging opportunities. Optimally, that's what you're looking for with some of those teams that are in the longer shot range. Yeah, it looks like the total is going to come down to the wire here. 88-72, 40 seconds left.
They're not going to foul.
I think you might escape here. Yep.
So what happened in the second half? Yeah, North Carolina is going to win the second half, plus 330. Like I fucking said, man. I got to get my account at Bet365 going. This is bullshit, fuck. I just left for 330 on the table. I've got North Carolina in the under here. There's a 3-ball. Misses. Good. There's the game.
They'll run it out now.
There's the game. Big win. Now everyone's going to say, oh, they wouldn't have won. They wouldn't have covered without fucking Zion played. They still would have fucking covered. Fuck, I'm telling you. North Carolina are good. North Carolina are good. There was too many points to be given these guys in this game. But I finally win a fucking under. I never win on unders. Finally hit a fucking under in this game. Yep, it cashes. 2.6 seconds left. It's over.
Yeah, not going to score 5 points in 2.6 seconds.
He's got to inbound the ball to make it official. And boom, they beat him. 88-72. North Carolina wins. Final score. 88-72.
Hey, Roy.
He's all fired up, talking shit.
Yeah, be careful. You got to play them again in Chapel Hill, and Duke will be out for blood in that game.
Yeah, they beat them last year in the ACC tournament, though. Too. It looks like they might be in their heads a little bit. Got their number.
I gotta admit, this is. I wasn't convinced earlier in this season North Carolina was going to do anything of significance in terms of compete for the ACC or be a team that could maybe make a run in the tournament, but they play great basketball, and it's been for a while.
It's the Tar-Heels. Like they got blue chip players.
Yep.
Roy Williams is an elite coach. You can never count these guys out.
A big man hates Roy Williams from an X's and O's standpoint. He says he can't coach. He's terrible in terms of schematics and adjustments and all that. Well, he recruits his ass off. That's all you need really at North Carolina. That's the main thing. He's getting talent.
Most college coaches, though, you can say about all of them. Like, Nick Saban does a lot of weird shit in football games. You know what I mean? Yeah. Look, he did the same thing. Kirby Smart. You know what I mean? Like, good coaches will do things, but most of these coaches are better. The better coaches are sort of in the smaller tier teams, Like,
coaching has less of an imprint.
Like to be these big time coaches, it's like being a CEO of a corporation. They're more than just coaches. Like it's like the assistants do all the coaching kind of. They're sort of the brand. It's like being the president type shit, and they have like sort of a bunch of people around them. And it's sort of about recruiting, and it's like the whole package more so than the X and O's. The X and O guys are like the dudes working their way up the ladder, and then it's sort of like politics and recruiting and all that bullshit comes into play. But Roy Williams is a good coach. I mean, the guy's had a shitload of success over the years. No one can argue that.
No, and he recruits his ass off. And you're right. Coaching makes less of an impact on games in college basketball than in other sports. Let's be honest. That's just the way talent rises to the top. Cream rises to the top in college hoops. You got the talent. You've got the cohesion in terms of your team. That's what's going to win you basketball games. Look at Jay Wright even. We always wax poetic about how amazing Jay Wright is.
Jay Wright is an amazing coach.
He is, but even he has nights where were his adjustments and X's and O's tonight against Georgetown, or the other night against St. John's.
Yeah. Expert at home. Oh, they should have done this and that. People have never played a fucking play of basketball in their fucking life.
Yeah.
Know what fucking Roy Williams or Jay Wright should do, right? With an adjustment.
Sometimes you just get outplayed by the other team.
It's just funny. Like I said, like people that aren't, you know what I mean? Like, because someone bets on a fucking game doesn't mean they're a fucking expert coach. If they're so good, be a coach. Go coach. Go coach a fucking team. Like,
try it out. See how you do. Yeah.
there's reasons why fucking coaches don't do things. We don't know. You know what I mean? Like, it's like I said, especially now in today's day and age, like, everyone, listen, you can call out Sean McVay for the Super Bowl. It's pretty obvious he didn't, you know what I mean? Like, he got out-coached, like significantly out-coached in the game. But it's amazing, like the armchair. Listen, that's what makes sports, right? Armchair quarterbacks, armchair everybody. But everybody knows everything now, right? What these Hall of Famers should do. Right.
That's the thing. We are programmed now as a sports fan or a sports bettor that when our team that we cheer for or team that we bet on screws up, makes a mistake, we rip the coach and we think we can do it better.
I think in college basketball, there's certain programs are going to have better players all the time, and they're at a big time advantage, right?
Yep.
So I'm not saying Bill Self is a better coach than like Eric Musselman. Eric Musselman doesn't coach that, right? That, the same type of talent every year. But he's also not in the same type conference every year. He's also not dealing with the politics and the pressure every year. It's a different beast. And I think in basketball, good coaching and schematics can take you a long way, actually. It's true, you need talent, but, like Michigan's a good example. Beilein's a great coach. You look at the Brooklyn Nets, Atkinson. They wouldn't, if they had a shitty coach, the Nets, they wouldn't be as good as they are. Like, Atkinson really puts them in a position to win. I would say college football, Babano, in my own personal opinion, that's the one. Like, that's the one where coaching is sort of less comes into play, where, like, you'll notice there's no upsets in college football. There's upsets in college basketball. A good coach can fucking grind out. Like, they only play 4 minutes at a time, dude, in college basketball. It's every 4 minutes, right? They take a timeout. It's stupid. I hate that about college basketball. So they all just coach in 4-minute increments. Like, that's how college coaches handle it, right? And they even do it like 1 minute at a time and shit.
I've heard coaches say, let's win that 4-minute segment. They say it all the time.
Win this 4 minutes and keep it within this and this 4 minutes while this guy's on the bench. And everything's in just little 4-minute shit. So coaches can sort of smoke and mirrors their way through it in basketball. Loyola Chicago last year and shit, right? Or whatever the fuck they were called. But football, college football, you're screwed, dude. You're not going to stop Clemson. Like, you're not going to stop Bama. They're bigger, faster, stronger. You know what I mean? Basketball, I find like I said, basketball, you can coach your way. You can hit threes. You can play a zone. You can shift things up. Football, man, it's fucking hard to pull a rabbit out of a hat, dude. Like, if the other team's just like they got fucking 38 blue chip 5-star guys that are going to the NFL, you don't. You're fucked. You can't stop it. They're just too fast. Basketball, upsets can happen in basketball, much more so.
Especially college, yeah. There's no question.
NBA is kind of like college football, where, like, how do you beat the Golden State Warriors, bro? Like, you can't. Like, no team has fucking 5 All-Stars, right? Like, they're too loaded.
Not in the West. Even in the East, like, when you look at the Eastern playoffs, like, are the top 4 seeds are really going to get upset in the first round? I don't know. Like, whoever plays Brooklyn.
I think they could.
Whoever plays Brooklyn could get upset in the first round. That's the way I see it.
Yeah, look, the Pacers could lose the first round to Brooklyn.
Yeah. Brooklyn
would be a fucking bitch for the Sixers, but the Sixers, I think, would beat them. But it would go like 7, I think. It would be a load. Like somebody I was talking about this on the morning show today. Somebody said it was an NBA coach, and they said, "What do you think about like the Celtics?" They're like unnamed coach in the Eastern Conference, and he said the Celtics could fucking win the Eastern Conference, or they could lose in the first round. He said you don't know, like they're very combustible. This team, where they have chemistry problems, but he said they're damn good if it comes together. And it's funny because I've been saying the same thing from a Raptors perspective, that I feel as though Boston is the Raptors' biggest problem. Like, I don't want to deal with the Celtics. Like, if the Celtics get hot in the playoffs, dude, they're going to be a bitch to deal with. Like, Kyrie Irving is a big time, big game player. And even though they don't like each other, the Celtics, they could come together in the playoffs. Yeah. They're a team, but so I think it's kind of open. Like, but you're right. I don't think Charlotte or Detroit would beat someone in the first round. Like, if the Raptors played the Hornets, the Raptors will fucking beat the Hornets in 5 games or something. They might.
I would think so. Yeah, I would think so. But the Raptors have never at times made first or second rounds easy on themselves over the years. So you never know, but they should be.
The playoffs aren't easy though for anyone, really. So it makes the playoffs, dude. Right? Yep. It's listen. Eastern Conference playoffs they're going to be a hell of a lot funner than it normally are. It's going to be a real battle. Like I said, I look at everything from sort of as a Raptor perspective, and for me, the best thing, Babano, is somehow if you're a Raptor fan, you want the Pacers to finish third. Like, you really want the Pacers to finish third.
Exactly, because that means that's your second round matchup.
No, then it makes Boston and Philadelphia play each other in the first round.
Oh, in the first round, right?
Yeah, if they're 4 and 5, they play each other.
Yes, which is a possibility.
One of these cocksuckers is out of the way. You know what I mean?
There you go. That's it. That would be.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. It's tough in the East, but it's like you don't have to play everybody because this, you don't have to play 4 series. So, like I said, that'd be ideal, dude. Boston and Philly just beat the crap out of each other for 7 games. It'll be a war. It'll be heated. It'll be a battle, and one of them will be gone.
Yes.
Right. And then you just sort of hope Milwaukee gets upset by someone. Right. And then, you get through this if you're the Raptors. But, I'm not delusional. I know it'll be tough for the Raptors in the playoffs. Kyle Lowry's got to play good. Like, he's got to play well, like, consistently.
No doubt. I mean, he is going to have to. The back's going to have to hold up. He's going to have to shoot well, which we know can be an issue at times for him. Facilitate the op. We know he can do that. Takes charges. He's great at that, but he's got to shoot well. His shot's got to be there. And sometimes in the playoffs, we see his shot just completely disintegrate and disappear. That can't happen this year for the Raptors. It's got to be there for them.
Well, and now his pattern is he has a great game one night and he has a bad game the next night.
Bad game the next.
Yeah, a great game and a bad game. Like he
doesn't string multiple good games together
he's got to. The thing is too, he takes too many bad shots. Like he takes like a lot of hard threes. Like I was talking with Coach Nick about it, and he was like, he takes like the hardest shots in the league type thing. Like basically, I'm not talking about from where he shoots from, but he shoots like sideways. Like he tries very hard 3-point shots. Like he doesn't set his feet properly. He shoots like back, leaning back. He shoots sideways. He does quick hits. Like, and the thing is, he is a good shooter, but he needs to like slow it down a bit and fucking say, all right, I'm taking a good shot here. Because you see on nights when he's in his zone, the Raptors are fucking tough and they can play with anybody, right? Like when you're getting 18 points from him and shit, 20 points, like you're not even asking that much. Just do the 20 points. He leads the league in assists at point guard or next to Westbrook. He's like right there. He's second in the NBA. He's number 1 in Eastern Conference. And he plays very good defense. So he's a very good player, but he's going to need to score a bit in the playoffs if they're really going to go to the finals and shit and like compete for real.
And if you're Nick Nurse, use these next, about just less than 2 months left in the regular season to get your rotations fine-tuned. That's what it's about for
Jeremy Lin. You got Jeremy Lin, man. Jeremy Lin can heat up, bro. Like the acquisition.
Yeah, they're all going to do that. Stevens is going to do that. Brett Brown's going to do that. Budenholzer in Milwaukee's going to do that. It's all about getting your rotations where you want them to be and where you're comfortable with them come playoff time. All these teams, they're trying to get the right formula and the right fit with their starting five, with their bench. How's the Ibaka-Gasol dynamic going to work for Raptors moving forward? What situations do you play?
Nurse is very good at that. That's one thing he's like he said, like he coached Nick Nurse. He said he coached in a lot of like other leagues. And he was saying when you coach in these European leagues, you're always getting different players every night. Like he's like, I'm sort of used to whatever I have, but you're right. He's got to sort of figure out he's got to figure it out a bit.
All right, someone's asking. No, I was just going to say, someone's asking me in the chat. You and Bobano and Haynes, are you guys going on Saturday? Going where?
I was going to tell you. Well, I tweeted it out earlier in the week, but I was going to tell you. Yeah. So Saturday night. Well, I'm going to the Raptor game. Speaking of the Raptors.
Oh shit. That's right. That's this weekend. You were right. You were talking about that for months. Going to the DeMar game, right?
Yeah.
San Antonio. That's this weekend. Christ, I forgot about it.
Yeah. So it's Friday night, but not a great time to do a show after the game, and who knows what I'll get out of there and stuff. So Saturday night we're going to hook up at the Wild Wings bar. You're
going to do a show Saturday, even though the game's Friday. You're going to do one Saturday.
Okay. Yeah, Saturday night Patreon show. A bunch of people are coming down, except Jazz is pulling a Bruce chat and not showing up. But a bunch of people are going to be coming down. It's going to be a good time. And the Leafs, like Shauno's going to be there. Haynes, Cam, Bolt. Remember Bolt, Charger fan, Ram fan, Bolt from
Greg, the Charger fan.
Yeah. Greg from Vancouver's up here. He's up for the game. He's in Toronto already. A bunch of people. I see on Twitter a bunch of people going to be coming. So it's not like a rage where like
You're not putting on a performance. You're not putting on a big show or anything.
No, exactly. It's like that time you were there. I remember that night, like with Jimmy the Bag at Shoeless Joe's. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm just going. I'm going to show up early. The Canadians are playing the Leafs too on TV Saturday night. So
I wonder if there'll be some people.
We'll get a couple of tables. We'll do the show on Patreon there and hang out and get blasted.
I might come down then. Actually, I think Saturday I'll be free, so that's good. I might just do that.
I'll be there early too.
Yep.
In about 6 or so, because we got to get tables. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I have no interest paying for a Raptor ticket right now, especially because I see those tickets are going up, the prices. But Saturday, I'll come down. Why not? Let's do it.
It'll be a good time. It'll be a fun time. And like I said, at least there's games to bet on. The Leafs and the Canadians in a bar in Toronto will be intense. That'll be a good watch. Like I said, I sort of accept a ban on Saturday night. There'll be no basketball. In the bar, it'll be
hockey. If you want NBA or college hoops, forget it. Yeah, that's probably not happening. Yeah.
I don't know. You never know. Maybe we can get the AAF on.
Yeah, you could sneak a game in there. Oh, yeah, shit. AAF Saturday, too. How's the schedule for AAF Saturday? I know there's 2 on Saturday, 2 on Sunday.
Orlando game Saturday night at 8.
Yeah, that's the nighttime game. That'll be on an NFL network, I think, that one. So, yeah, you can always ask somebody, get the AAF. Come on. I mean, you can't have every bloody fucking television on the hockey.
The Leafs and I love hockey. In Toronto, good luck.
That's ridiculous. That's why I love end zones in Hamilton. Yeah, you'll get basically every sport on there. They got 30 TVs, and they'll give college hoops on some TVs, NBA on some TVs, hockey on some TVs. They'll give the Leafs on the big screen, but you'll see other sports in that bar at least. Yeah,
I do. Yeah, I sort of accept it. Like Montreal's not bad actually. Montreal, like, there's a few bars where they'll put you in a corner and shit. They'll put the game on for you. But I sort of accept, like, when I was in Montreal hotel rooms a lot, the first few times I'd get fucking mad, man, because they're like, there's only one TSN there and shit. There wouldn't be 5 of them in the hotel. And I'd be like, fuck me, the Raptor game's on. But TSN has got fucking some hockey shit on in Quebec, right? Like, it's a different TSN there. Like, it's regional. And I used to get mad, but then I just accepted it. I used to say, well, you know what? I used to, like, on the train on the way to Montreal, I'd only cap the hockey. Because it'd be like, well, it's the only fucking thing I'm going to see tonight everywhere, right? So I'd be prepared. I'm like, all right. I know the Canucks are playing the Oilers tonight. And you know what I mean? Yeah, tonight you're just watching hockey, right?
I got the whole hockey schedule down pat because that's the only damn sport I'm going to be watching.
Yeah, like you walk into a bar in Montreal on a Saturday night, bro. Fucking, I tell you, like, hockey's on. You know what I mean? Like, that's just the way it is.
You also said, I think, one time that on some nights the Canadians aren't playing a live game. They're showing old classic Canadians games or some shit like that.
Yeah, they once told us to keep. We were doing a show in the summertime.
Yeah, there you go.
Sports bar in Montreal, and they complained. Guys, the bar came over. They're like, "Listen, can you guys keep it down? These guys are watching the game over there." They were watching the Canadians and Nordique series from like fucking 1982. Fuck. I told him, I said, you know how it is. Like,
That's a little ridiculous. Come on now. I know you love the team and it's the religious team in the city. It's the religion there. I get it. Canadians hockey. I understand it. I get it. But come on already. Enough, please. Stop.
Yeah,
It's crazy. It's over the top.
Oh, it's a lockout.
Yeah.
I don't know. Look, people in Philadelphia had a Super Bowl party to review the Super Bowl this past year. So
Yeah. It's different strokes for different folks, right? In Philly, it's Eagles obsession. The classic Eagles football in Philadelphia.
There's just one ball.
Classic Habs hockey. Yeah. Yeah, it was a lot. Slow times. Yeah, slow times. Pulling teeth trying to find some sports to put on the TVs. All right, we'll give them a break.
Yeah. So Saturday night, Wild Wing on the location at Bathurst and King Street.
Bathurst and King. All right, I'll make note of that.
Yeah, I'll be tweeting it out before. Yeah, Bathurst and King, right downtown Toronto. Say it's
what's the name?
Too.
Wild Wing.
Yeah, Wild Wings.
Okay. Oh, so it's got nothing to do with Buffalo Wild Wings. Then it's just its own thing.
No, exactly. It's called Wild Wings. Yeah. I actually did a show at a Wild Wing years ago. A few of them actually. Remember the UFC and shit like that on Jarvis and like Richmond Street or something. This is the only thing. It's a smaller. I don't know how many people are going to show up, anyways, but it's a smaller place, so I'm going to get there earlier. But what I like about it is, I used to live in a neighborhood. I used to pass it all the time, and it's not that busy ever. Like, that's one thing. Like, they do well. Like, people order their wings through Uber Eats and shit like that. But there's a few drunks that are in there, and there's like there's a really happening bar right next door that's like much bigger and shit. And that place is packed. And there's a place across the street that's sort of like not a sports bar, but a restaurant with the game on and shit. And they do real well. And I know the Wi-Fi is good at this Wild Wing place. I watched an NFL game there. I had like 2 hours to kill before an airport a couple of months ago in Toronto. The airport, Billy Bishop downtown. So I was like, wow, fuck, I knew that the airport wouldn't have the football games on. So I was like, whatever. I'll just go into this Wild Wings here. And the Wi-Fi is very good. So I know the Wi-Fi is good. We can get our bets in, do the show on Patreon. Drinks are pretty cheap because it's not like a high-end bar or whatever. You know what I mean? It's affordable. The chicken wings are very good, too. Like, the food is good there. Like, the poutine's very good. The chicken wing, it's like their specialty, you know?
Well, that's the thing. You got to do a lot to screw up chicken wings. You got to do a lot to get me to not like eating chicken wings. So,
it's possible to eat chicken wings up.
Yeah. I haven't had too many bad ones over my life, but then again, I'm not overly picky or fussy.
They are good, though. They are good. Like the place, like like I said, the chicken wings, the food. I've always liked the food there. Like I used to have a deal. I used to sponsor MMA Meltdown. So, but I don't have any affiliation with this place. But like I said, it's a smaller place, but they have all the games on, and it's a great location, right? Bathurst and King Street in Toronto, easy to get to for everyone, close to like trains, buses, automobiles, Ubers, whatever, like however way people get there, it's easy to get in and out of there, you know? Yeah, what's up, Kevin? Hopefully we'll see you down there Saturday night, bro.
Yeah, you're coming into town at a perfect time because, like I say, March would have been difficult. March is just so damn busy with the tournaments going on and all that's hard to get away. But this is perfect time. Football's just ended. It's not quite March Madness yet, so I don't see any reason why I can't be down there on Saturday.
Yeah, that was the best. Remember, Kevin, you guys ordered wings and fucking
oh, yeah, I ordered all those wings and we ended up
left
because Cam just takes off. Just, out of nowhere. Just, I'm done. All right, I got to go. I just ordered like 2 fucking pounds of wings.
I know. I was planning on staying with Jazz, actually, and now suddenly you just canceled today. You waited too long.
Yeah, we ordered them because Cam. Yeah, we ordered them because Cam wanted them, and next thing you know, he's out the door. See you later. Night's over.
Yeah. That was a long day.
Yeah, but he had problems with the girl that night. So, when the girl comes a calling, it's hard to say no sometimes. You got to
You know what's crazy is
solve those relationship issues.
what's crazy is I was convinced that night I lost my cell phone. I don't know if you remember, but I always remember I needed a charger. I went back to get a charger. I always need a fucking charger. I remember we went to the football game. I remember it was all wasted. I was like, I got to go to my condo to get the charger. And I did. And somehow I lost my phone that night. And I looked fucking everywhere. I was convinced. I thought I left it in a taxi. I never was really fucking sure. But years later, when I moved out of the condo here recently, that it's in the summer, I found it in the couch. I don't know how I got in the couch. I don't know what the fuck happened, but I was like, fuck, this is the fucking phone I thought I lost. So doesn't matter. I bought a new one anyways, but I found like 2 or 3 phones when I was moving out. I was like, shit, I thought I lost this phone. I was like, I thought I lost this one too. They were in there like under this, under that, but whatever. Yeah, I think I found it. Fuck. I think I found it, but yeah, that was the other night that the fucking kid took my phone. Yeah.
Exactly right, Kevin. What we'll do is we'll ask Cam when we order wings Saturday night. Cam, you want wings? Are you staying around to eat the things this time? Yeah, we'll make sure we ask him that here. You're not taking off in the next 2 minutes. We don't have girlfriend crisis at
The
home.
worst is I couldn't even help you. I would have crushed those wings, but I had stomach issues then. Remember, I was like,
yeah, you did. You weren't feeling good that night. That was that Cowboy-Eagle game. I remember it now. It was Cowboys-Eagles on the Sunday nighter that night.
Yeah, I lost. Looked good in the first half, and then it fell apart.
Yeah, and it fell apart, yeah. Like so many bets, they look good early, not so good at the end.
Yeah. That's what happens when you're really wasted like that. Like, I've never bet a favorite wasted, Babano. Like, I swear, like I've never been like really hammered in a sports bar after a long night or partying, or I always end up taking the underdog because I'm wasted, right? No, I like underdog betting anyways, but I'm always like, fuck, let's take fucking Texas Tech plus the fucking 14 versus Oklahoma. Like, it's going to be a big upset, right? And like,
Yep.
Fast forward to it's 28-0 Oklahoma after the first quarter. Like that shit. Yeah. It happens all the time. Like, fucking, like I get hammered and I'm always on the underdog when I'm drunk. Like, I'm always like, I'm going to take a chance with the underdog here. It rarely works out.
4-2 Flames. Wow. There's another team that can't go under the total anymore. Calgary and Chicago. I'm telling you, you bet overs every night with those two teams. Just do it. It just wins every night. Every night. Those two teams.
What was the total tonight? 6 though, or 6.5 there?
6 with Islanders Calgary. It's going to push at worst. Yeah. 4-2. Look at Chicago tonight. Another over 5-4 every night. 6.5's not high enough, even for Chicago right now.
They have gone on the table a bit. I really have been.
They've gone over the total, Chicago, in like 24 of their last 28, 24-4 to the over in their last 28 games. That's insanity. 24-4. Most of those totals have been 6 or 6.5.
It's crazy how that flies under the radar. Like if it was a team against the spread, imagine like people would be all over that.
I've been on it. I've been on it for weeks. So
I've left it on the table too much. I've dabbled a bit. I get scared off by the totals sometimes, and I can't. It's a regret. It's always like that though in every league. Like besides the NFL, because it's short season, but like college basketball, it's frustrating. There's so many. I just don't have time. But there's so many teams that you'll notice. Oh my God, this fucking team is 13-1 to the over their last 14 games. Right? Like it's hard. Sometimes this shit flies under the cracks. But you guys are pretty good at it this year with the first period overs and shit earlier in the year. I know people are still doing it right now. I see some people are fucking like playing -200 and shit for some of these overs now in the first period.
It's because you know what they say about the high juice. It's not juice if it wins. It's not juice if it cashes. and that's what it's doing for these people. They're just repeatedly, mechanically betting these first period overs. The juice. I remember there was earlier in the season with some of these teams, Chicago's and Tampa Bay's and Calgary's first period overs were -110 or -120, even money or slight favorite, minus 120. Then they went up to minus 140, minus 150. Now you're seeing minus 200, even minus 250 for over 1.5 in the first period with some of these teams. And still people are betting it because it's just still coming in. At some point, they got to put it to 2, but we've been waiting on it for weeks. It's probably not going to happen. They'll just keep raising the juice.
Yeah, because if they put it to 2, then people start slamming the under.
Yep.
So you'll need 3 to lose the bet. You know what I mean?
That's right. That's the risk, because asking 3 to lose, even for a first period, even with scoring up, it's a little bit more dicey.
Yeah, Krusty the Clown laid down. A good call by School. What's up, School? Yeah, it's true. The San Jose Sharks were a big first period team earlier in the year. I guess most of the year. Columbus Blue Jackets were on a first period over tear. Chicago Blackhawks, Tampa Bay Lightning. Seems like a lot of teams were on a first period over tear this year.
A lot of teams were. Chicago's still on, of course, on a full game over tear, because that's the 24-4s. They're full game overs. And again, every Chicago total's been like 6, 6.5. These are getting to 7 goals or more pretty much every game with this team. When are they playing next, by the way? You'll have to keep an eye out for that. Oh, Friday, they're playing Colorado at home. So will we see 6.5 again? If it's 6.5 again, I'm on the over again. Not even a debate. There's no issue. If it's 6.5, I'm firing again.
Babano, rightwager.com. All right, you know what, Babano, actually, there's no radio show on Friday.
Oh, yeah, because you're traveling. Or you're right. That's the day you're traveling back to Toronto, right? Yeah, that's why. Yeah.
You get the day off.
All right.
Well, we'll see you Saturday night, so that'll be your appearance.
Yeah, that'll make up for it. So there you go. Saturday night. Yeah, I'll be there for Wild Wing, at Wild Wing.
Yeah, I'll tweet it out. If you got questions about it, just like DM me, but I'll tweet it out too. Like I said, the hockey game's at 7. Considering it's the Leafs and Habs, so there'll be some people, but I imagine that people will sort of leave after. And let's be real, most people, it's sort of like lonely people that will go there only. You know what I mean? Like, most people get the Leafs and Habs game at home, right?
I'll fit in quite well then. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, like, it's like the type of place. When I was there was like a couple of regulars at the bar flirting with the girl there, and regulars and shit. But it's a cool little place, and it's a good location too. Even if we go out after, at least we're right downtown Toronto and stuff,
Yeah, the hub of activities, all right in that area.
Yeah, Bathurst Street is a cool street in Toronto. Spadina is cool too. Like that whole area. Toronto's a cool city.
Yeah, well, like I say, you don't get into town as much. You don't get to come back to Toronto every month or even every few months. So got to see you. Got to come down for a visit.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, exactly, Steve Wilson. I'll send you a message too. But like Kevin stated, like the place there's a place, that's what it's called, the Wheat Chief. It's like a big bar right next door, and it's like chicken wings and booze and shit, and it's more happening. You know what I mean? Like the Wild Wings is like. It's a smaller place. They have some TVs and shit, but it's more for wings. And like I said, they kill it with the app food shit. They're busy as hell just cranking wings out and takeout or delivery, whatever. And but I figured it'd be a good place because other places are going to be all packed and shit, or we're not going to go to Real Sports, like $18 a drink and shit. You know what I mean?
No, I wouldn't go there either. Not on a Saturday night.
Just a fucking cheap.
Right by the fucking Air Canada Center, or the Scotiabank Arena, as they call it now.
Yeah, like this type of place where they'll have like 2 beers for $6 and shit. Like they always have specials, or like a bucket of Molson for $20 and shit.
On a night where the Habs and Leafs are in town, if you want to pay for overpriced food and drinks and feel like you're sardines in a can, then Real Sports is the place for you.
Oh, Saturday night, Real Sports with the Habs and Leafs, it'd be lineups for 3 blocks.
Yeah, exactly. If you like being all claustrophobic, bumping into people left and right, and paying a premium for food and drinks, go there.
I don't know if you're going to come down, Wilson. Yeah, too bad. You should come down, Babano, sometime in New York too. It's not that far from Toronto. It's cheap if you do it in advance, like literally like $100 type thing only. Big East tournament's going to be cool here. Remember you were saying for March Madness, actually. What's up with that?
Yeah, so again, I'm trying to see what the hell to fly into Atlantic City, because I'm hearing you might want to go there during the tournament, and I'm hearing Big Man say he wants to go down there for part of the tournament to bet at the Borgata. And
Cam's coming. Cam's coming. Steel City Steve.
Yeah, Steel City Steve's on Twitter after all this time.
Exactly.
Finally, good for him.
It's not 1,000% locked in, but that's pretty much our plan. Yeah, Riggs and everyone, we're going to be going to I'll probably go on the Friday afternoon. as opposed to I'm like Thursday and staying for 4 days and shit. But I think I can roll in Friday afternoon. I'll stay Friday night, Saturday night, watch a game Sunday, leave Sunday night type thing. And one good thing, like I said, Vegas is fun, but at least the Atlantic City, about if you come, it's an hour and 20-minute flight, bro, right? So it's not, you don't have to rearrange your life, really. You know what I mean? You get on a plane fucking Friday morning, you're fucking in Atlantic City fucking, 2 hours later type thing,
I don't think there's a direct, as I've been looking at, I think it was last week I looked into it just briefly. I don't think there's direct flight Toronto or Hamilton to Atlantic City. You got to go to Philly and then find a way to get to Atlantic City from Philly.
Oh, it's Philly closer than New York?
Yeah, Philly's definitely closer. Yeah, definitely Philly's closer to Atlantic City than New York.
But difference is flights to New York are probably cheaper and easier, you know what I mean, from Toronto or Hamilton.
Yep.
More, there's a million of them direct, right? And then you just sort of like, I'm just going to take the train. I think the train's about 2.5 hours.
That's not bad from New York, yeah.
Yeah, you're on the train too, so you just get fucking blasted.
Yeah, exactly.
When I went to the Michigan Rutgers game, I asked them too. I had like a fucking bunch of drinks, like a case there, and I said, "Am I allowed to drink this?" She's like, "Yeah." I was like, "All right." I was worried about getting a ticket. He's like, "No, you're allowed to drink on the train." I was like, "Good."
We actually took Via Rail, friends of mine, the Ticats season ticket group people and me. We went to a Red Black game in Ottawa one year on the road and used Via Rail. The train ride's fun. You get to drink a little bit, Yeah,
but the difference is on that Via, they charge you. You can't drink your own booze on the train.
Yeah. Unless you're very discreet, yes.
Yeah, like you can't do it. Trust me, it's I did it on a plane and it ended poorly. It ended poorly.
Oh, they had a problem with it? No, I can't believe that.
No, Toronto's not the worst airport, Michael B. Trust me, there's a hell of a lot worse airports than Toronto.
It's not the great. Like, I love Hamilton. It's so small and so everything's nice and easy, and it's just so quick and that. But I avoid Toronto when I can. But there's worse than Toronto. Toronto's not terrible. Like, it's not like horrible experience or anything.
Toronto's it's a little far out there. It's a problem, but the high-speed rail fucking train kicks ass. Fuck, like I said, I've been to a lot of airports, a lot of fucking cities, and they don't all have a fucking train at fucking high speed right from the airport right into downtown. Like, that train's like the best way to get like in and out of that airport. High speed, 27 minutes, man. It's not even. It's like 25, really. They say 27, but it seems like it's like 25 to 27, and it's right in the airport. Like a lot of cities and shit, you got to take a shuttle there and connect here and do that. Like, it's a pain in the ass, fuck. But
yeah, Trump during his campaign was bitching about his airports in his country are third world airports. So there's got to be worse out there than Toronto. just hearing that.
Oh, trust me, yeah, like all three of them in New York here, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the Pearson Airport. Pearson Airport makes all three airports in this area look like fucking like a shack. Most of like we talked about last week, most of the American airports are pretty bad. Like, Trump's right about that. Like, they are behind the rest of the world. Like, like some of them are fucking really bad. Like, Memphis is fucking airport. Like, Minneapolis is good. Minneapolis is good. But
Alex B. That's not bad. That one, yep.
Listen, it's one thing. Listen, every airport sucks. There is no good airport, right? Like, people, that airport is like, there is no good airport. Every airport sucks.
They're all a nuisance.
Minneapolis is okay because it's like a mall, like, and they can't price gouge you. That's not bad in Minneapolis, but all airports blow. But even like people bitch about LaGuardia all the time, and yeah, whatever, fuck. It's not the most pleasant place to sit and wait for an hour and a half or whatever. There's not much there, but I've used LaGuardia twice here, and I got into Manhattan fucking fast, and it wasn't even that much in a taxi, to be honest. Like, everyone's like, "Oh, it's a bitch, it's a terrible, it's a nightmare and shit." I was like, man, it took me like fucking 25 minutes. Like, it was pretty fast. So, but yeah, there's some bad airports. Canadian airports are pretty good, actually. Like, they've renovated every airport in Canada for the most part. They're all pretty modern.
What Canadian airport outside of Toronto was I in last? I'm trying. Oh, Vancouver, right? Last year, yeah. Yeah, I like Vancouver Airport. I didn't have an issue there.
Vancouver Airport, I'm not a big fan of Vancouver Airport, actually.
Oh, really?
It's slow. The service is slow. Like, it's hard to get in and out of there. The SkyTrain from the airport is cool, but like the customs are slow in Vancouver. There's like it's like all there's the flights to China and shit, and everyone's in the same line. So there's always like 3,000 fucking people and shit coming in. So the lines take forever. There's only like 2 restaurants in the entire fucking airport in fucking Vancouver. Like, trust me, guys, I know every airport inside out. Like the Vancouver, yeah, it's all right. There's that little bar there, and there's like there's not much there. It's clean though. It's nice, and it's it's clean and shit. It's carpeted and everything, but there's not many choices there. Pearson's pretty good actually for choices. Like, there's bars and fucking you name it in Pearson. McCarran's pretty good in Vegas, actually. McCarran's a decent airport.
Yeah, I have no issues with McCarran. McCarran's served me. Miami's the one I had a big issues with way back when they were doing connection from Vegas to Miami. I think it was the Costa Rica trip, actually.
For the Miami, that airport's packed, fuck.
Yeah. Oh, you can't get any service, any assistance at all. Someone pointed me in the wrong direction, and it nearly cost me missing my flight, and it was just a disaster. Total disaster.
It's a very rude airport.
Yeah.
You're right. They're not polite in Miami at the airport.
No.
Chicago's airport Chicago's airport's all right. It's pretty modern and big and shit. Me and Cam got stuck in the Philadelphia airport for like fucking 12 hours once. We got shit-faced. Like, we were snowed in. Like, it was bad. We were coming back from Vegas. There was nothing we could do. We missed the show and shit. We were snowed in. And they gave us like vouchers for like the airport. You know what I mean?
Oh, to make it up for it.
Yeah, like you can use it at any restaurant and shit in the fucking place. So we got fucking wasted fucking some like fucking sports bar chicken, like a Fox Sports Bar. Like they used to have these Fox Sports Bars, they were called. Fox Sports. And it was like Fox Sports Bar. They had them in a bunch of airports. I'll never forget, it was like a Monday night after we had come back from Vegas. Might have been after the Super Bowl or something. And we bet college basketball night, and fucking our plane left. They were like, oh, you can leave now. We were all shit-faced. They put us on a plane at like 1 a.m. Denver Airport is like the haunted one. And yeah, that's where they have the secret world and shit. That's the bunker for the rich in Denver. First class to Chicago, best flight of his life, he says. Yeah, Denver, give me a second here, but Denver Airport is twisted.
I can't comment. I've never been, but that's interesting. That's interesting that of all airports in the North America, particularly the United States, Denver would be the one that would be a little bit out there. Interesting.
They don't even hide it.
No, they welcome it.
Like, people who drive by that airport in Denver before, and they're like, what the fuck are they doing? They're like, don't worry about it. And then they find out after, it's like, yeah, they have a fucking sort of a bunker for rich people. There's like a secret underworld under the airport. Like, there's some weird shit that goes on at that airport, man. There's some weird like paintings on the wall, like codes of fucking shit that like they're basically telling you that we're cool and you're not. Fuck.
They basically soak themselves up in it. We're different. We're out there. We're Denver International Airport. We're doing things differently. You know, either like it or you don't. It's a good attitude, actually. This is putting it out there. This is me. This is who I am. You don't like it, tough shit, right? All right, Gabe has stepped away. So what are we going to do? Let's do a score update here. 79-60 for Colorado State leading San Jose State. How about Air Force? Opened a 15-point underdog against Fresno State, and they're up by 11 with 3 minutes to go in the second half. I believe Fresno State is playing Nevada this weekend, and you got to wonder if Fresno's looking ahead a bit, because the fact you're losing by 11 at home to Air Force is not good. And it tells me that maybe that's a team that's not mentally got themselves locked into that game. Washington State beating Colorado. We're leading them right now, 71-68. It's a bit of a surprise. Utah hanging with Washington, 33-27. Oh, Nevada getting beaten by San Diego State right now, 28-18, 2:40 to go first half. So, all this talk about Nevada, wanting to slay the Dragons a little bit, hasn't worked out so far. I'll probably put that game on now, actually, as we wrap the show up here. That Nevada games, they're never out of a game, not with their offense, but obviously they've had a little bit of a slow start tonight. 4-2 Calgary still leading the Islanders. Again, if you bet the total in that game, no worse than push. 6. Calgary again, like I'm telling you, with these two teams, Calgary and Chicago, just keep looking over the total. What do we got for college basketball tomorrow? Let's see what we've got in terms of marquee games. Pepperdine Gonzaga is not one. Gonzaga is a marquee team, but that's obviously a game they should take care of business in. Oregon State, UCLA. It's not actually a big-time slate tomorrow night. A lot of mid-major stuff. Michigan at Minnesota. Michigan 4.5 on the road at Minnesota. Minnesota is a very, very tough team to get a real good handle on. I mean, talk about a team that's been up, that's been down. They've had some good wins. They've had some real bad losses. That's basically been Minnesota. So, that's not an easy team to gauge right there. Michigan, we know. Remember, Michigan lost on the road to Penn State. So that tells you right there, Minnesota can, if they play their A game, hang with Michigan and maybe win. But you just don't know if you're going to see that game to game with that team. It's a lot of mid-major stuff tomorrow night. A lot of Ohio Valley Conference action, a lot of Pac-12, West Coast Conference action, Colonial Athletic Association, mid-major Thursday night. That's usually the normal at this time of year in college basketball. The conference tournaments are not that far away. Monday, March 4th will be the start of conference tournaments, which is a really good thing to see.
I'm going to be going to the Big East tourney at MSG.
You should.
Going to start selling. Rutgers going to start selling alcohol now at their football games. Good news. All right, Babano, it's getting late here. I got to wrap it up. We got the morning show.
Absolutely, yeah.
And thanks for joining us. You want Babano's picks? Get on his list and get those winners. Right way.
7-0, Gabe. 7-0 the last 2 nights on the website, so I'm doing something right. So
good stuff.
Keep it going. Yeah, well, for now, let's see if we can keep congratulating me the next few nights too. That's the goal. It's always look ahead, not backward.
Keep it rolling.
Exactly. All right, Gabe. I'll probably see you Saturday.
Yeah, good stuff. Look forward to it. Thanks, Babano.
All right. See you guys. Have a good night.
There's Babano. So as he stated, if you were unaware, I tweeted it out, but we're going to be in Toronto this weekend. We're going to be at the Toronto Raptor game on Friday night. And we're going to be at the Toronto Raptor game on Friday night. And then Saturday night, we'll be throwing it down at Wild Wings. I don't know. I'm starting to think this place is going to be too small for all the fucking people that are going to show up, to be honest. I don't know. We'll see what happens. I guess we'll fill this place up. Standing room only. Could end up being crazy. We'll see what happens. We'll see how much people in Toronto miss me. I don't think very much, to be honest. That's not true. We got a hell of a lot of retweets. A lot of people say they're coming down and shit like that. So don't feel bad if you don't. Like I said, it's not like an official. It's not an official road rage. I guess it is a road rage in a sense. It's it is and it isn't. It's not like an official show. We'll do a big time show sometime again in Toronto down the road. But we do miss Toronto, so it'll be cool to be there for a weekend. Yeah, at least play all the time, no big Will. And they play the Canadians all the time, People are going to be watching at home. There'll be people out. It'll be a good time. Hopefully we'll see you there, Big Will. UOFB. I don't know what that is. What is UOFB? Thank you very much, Vegas guy. Yeah, we need to get going. Yeah, it was great to have Bobby Valentine. Listen, our new guest booker and our new producer is doing a great job with a guest, and it continues tomorrow. Well, we got Cam Stewart tomorrow, but we got Cam Stewart and Lionel Hollins. Lionel Hollins will join us, longtime NBA head coach, NBA champion with the Blazers as a player, but longtime coach of the Memphis Grizzlies. He was coaching the Brooklyn Nets actually for the last 3-4 years too. So Lionel Hollins will join us, Cam Stewart, and I think it's ironic too because I was wearing his jersey on Super Bowl Sunday. Steven Jackson, running back, former Rams, great Steven Jackson on the radar tomorrow. Talk some football. So we got it covered tomorrow. Cam Stewart, some golf, hockey. Lionel Hollins, we've got NBA covered with a coach. Like I said, we ain't fucking around. The show's different. It'll take a little while to get into this new format, but you know, for where we're trying to get, it'll help us get there. I miss the antics and sort of the morning show craziness, antics type thing. But I also like the hardcore sports interviews and shit too. And to be honest, it's easier to sell and syndicate a sports show when you're talking about sports with coaches and stuff. But anyways, we're out of here. Thank you, Ty Rich. Yeah, Bavona's a little nervous. We calmed him down a bit today. Hey, listen, I just do shit one day at a time. That's all I can do. Other than that, you're on your own. We appreciate you joining us tonight. We'll see you guys tomorrow in the morning for those of you that are up. If not, we'll be on at 4 o'clock in the afternoon tomorrow. Other than that, you're on your own. Later.